The 2013 nuclear emergency exercise took place at Hengchun Township, Pingdong County. Assuming that there is a 13-meter tsunami triggered by an 8.2 magnitude earthquake happened offshore. Based on this scenario, a large scale of exercise was undertaken both on site and outside of the Mansha nuclear power plant. The participants included staff from the Atomic Energy Council, relevant ministries and councils, Pingdong County, Taiwan Power Company, local residents and schools, totaling about 5,000 people involved in the exercise. And now let's look at the exercise item by item. If an accident occurred at the Manshan nuclear power plant, the emergency response unit of power plant will initiate right away, not only to handle the accident, but also to issue the press release. More importantly, they need to inform the Nuclear Safety Duty Center of the Atomic Energy Council and Pingdong County government within 15 minutes. Assuming the roads connected to the outside are damaged, in order to repair the damaged equipment in the power plant, helicopter carrying necessary materials and devices is called in to fix the problem. After tsunami, all the AC power were lost in the plant. The personnel from the Technical Support Center were transferred to backup place to handle the accident, and the mobile diesel generator was brought in to supply power for the emergency systems. Before sending the re-entry group to fix the malfunctioned equipment, toolbox meetings were held to confirm the task and other risky factors. Protective measures were also implemented in the meanwhile. In case workers were injured and contaminated, decontamination rescue team on site must immediately provide preliminary first aid, and then the persons in trouble were sent to the responsible hospital in Hengchun Township for further medical treatment. Once the powerful earthquake and tsunami alert is confirmed, first stage actions must be taken based on the emergency operations procedure and ultimate response guideline. When necessary, seawater is injected to the reactor for the core cooling in order to make sure there will be no core meltdown and radiation release. After the full examination over the plant, two 4.16 kV air-cooled power vehicles were added. In case all the electricity is lost, these two power vehicles can be used to supply power for the emergency core cooling system. As nighttime was approaching, the repair personnel have to get the temporary cable from the junction box to the 4.16 kV power vehicle in darkness for the purpose of activating the seawater pump so as to prevent reactor core from meltdown due to the overheating fuels inside. Because spent fuel pool water level was dropping, decision was taken to extract seawater into the spent fuel pool. First of all, fire pumps were set up to extract seawater to the pool through the connecting fire hose to the inlet point next to the fuel building. The purpose of this action was to ensure the continued cooling of the fuels in the pool. When a nuclear accident occurs, in addition to setting up the National Nuclear Emergency Response Center, a forward coordination post will also be established, whose members involve personnel from the Atomic Energy Council and relevant government organizations. The main responsibilities of the Forward Coordination Post are to integrate and allocate the resources available for disaster relief, to keep each emergency response unit well informed of the situation in a prompt way, to undertake necessary protective measures, and to issue news releases to the general public, etc. Upon receiving notification, the Southern Radiation Monitoring Center immediately dispatched its personnel to the area of concern to conduct environmental radiation detection and public dose assessment. After carefully evaluating and predicting the potential scope of the accident, the center then made appropriate recommendations for public protective actions. When a leak of radioactive materials is confirmed, the Ministry of Defense will send helicopters for aerial survey. The Coast Guard sends patrol ships to detect radiation level at sea and collect water samples for the purpose of fully understanding the radiological contamination. While Pingdong County government has received notification, it will establish local disaster response center to assist announcing the accident warning, to carry out traffic control, and to take public protection actions such as evacuation and sheltering when necessary. The accident warning will deliver to the public through a pre-established warning system, village radio station, route broadcasting, text messages, etc. Once the alarm is issued, traffic control shall be implemented. In the meantime, the heads of the village and the police on patrol car will advise the public to follow the instructions of protective measures such as sheltering and evacuation issued by the government. If the nuclear accident happens during class time, teachers will guide students to quickly enter classroom for sheltering, from where the evacuation buses arranged by the government will come to drive them to the host school. Upon receiving the evacuation order, parents may either go to school directly or pick up their children at the host school. Be sure to get your doors and windows closed during the sheltering. In the meanwhile, turn on the TV or radio for accident situation update. Also strongly advised is to post a card saying, "We have been notified to take sheltering," at a place on door or window where emergency workers can easily see it from the road, thus allowing them to notify other residents. As soon as the residents receive the notification for evacuation, they can go to the designated points nearby or to the bus stop to wait for evacuation buses. Certainly, residents can also drive their own car to the reception facility. In this case, a card saying, "We have been already notified to evacuate," posted on the windshield of their car is strongly recommended in order for speeding up the process. In case some residents miss the pre-noticed meeting time in buses, they can get on any evacuation buses passing by simply waving to the bus driver to go to reception facility. In case of families having the disabled or elderly persons, they are recommended to clearly post a card saying "Special assistance needed" on the windows and/or the door. Therefore, emergency workers can give top priority to assist them for evacuation. Besides, for those badly ill in the hospitals or nursing homes, local government will dispatch ambulance, rehab bus, or other vehicles to help them with evacuation. With the assistance of medical staff, patients can be transferred and evacuated to the safe place in an appropriate manner. With the concern of radioactive contamination, the Radiation Monitoring and Detection Center will mobilize technical staff to each reception facility for radiation checkup. All these places are equipped with radiation detectors for people and vehicles respectively. A contamination-free paper will be issued to those with no contamination. On the other hand, residents or vehicles exposed to radioactive contamination must accept decontamination service provided by the Military Support Center. Because some roads were disrupted by the tsunami, the military built a mobile temporary bridge by applying track movable bridge over which medium-sized vehicles can go through. Also, military trucks were dispatched to the scene to expedite evacuation process. The evacuees will be taken to the reception facility for a temporary stay where the government will cooperate with civilian organizations, voluntary workers, and the military. Within each reception facility, a medical station is in place to provide care for the elderly and children. People staying in the reception facility can obtain good care both mentally and physically. Through this nuclear emergency exercise, we have validated plenty of sophisticated response measures learned from the Fukushima accident in Japan. For instance, implementation of absolute response measures at night, seawater injection to spent fuel pool, expanded radiation detection area on the ground, in the air and at the sea, issuance of contamination-free paper, evacuation for children and the vulnerable groups, and the preventative evacuation for the public residing within radius 3 kilometers of the nuclear power plant. All these efforts are aimed to enhancing public safety and minimizing damages as a result of nuclear accidents. Exercise is only a part of daily routine for emergency preparedness. Before this exercise, we had held a series of communication activities such as home visits, workshops, various group discussions, and seminars in the school and press conferences. We hope the public can understand all the practices and efforts undertaken by the government are to ensure the nuclear safety. Finally, you are always welcome to visit the Atomic Energy Council's website to provide your valuable advice. Thank you for watching the film and see you again.